Hey guys, and welcome back to my world. In the last video we looked at the new functionality with game rule and how to use query result to actually get that data out of the game rule. Today I'm going to be looking at some of the other uses for the query results. Okay, now the first and foremost and the biggest change is to time. Now if you go to time, okay, so forward, oopsie, that's a bit much time space set. Now you'll see we had set before, we had add before, but the new one is query. So we got time query, and then we can query daytime or we can query game time. Now I'm aware I'm whistling every time I say that, sorry. So if we query game time, it'll give us the amount of time that this game or this map has been running. So as you can see, at the moment it is 4,107,760-ish ticks that this map has been running. Okay, if we do the same, but we do it with just daytime, it'll give us the exact time that the tick and ticks that the day is running. So you'll see it's like almost noon in Minecraftopia. So it's almost at 5,000 ticks, which I think is noon. I stand to be corrected. Okay. Now, the only negative thing about the query daytime is that it doesn't actually, when it gets to, it doesn't actually swap around into a new day. The time just carries on. So you need to kind of manually set the time back to 0 if you want to use it from a 0 point of view. Okay, right, another command that has actually been changed slightly to use the new query result is the border command. So if I go Worldborder, set, center, damage, warning, add, get. Now that is the new command for Worldborder, is get. So when I do that, it'll tell me how far away the border is. So at the moment the border is 3,891 blocks away or wide. Okay, if I run that again, you'll see it's now 3,880. It's because I actually have the border shrinking over time. Now, using the stats command and the query results, I am then able to have it in real time count down, if you want to call it that. So it's kind of like a border countdown as it's moving in. The other thing that I can also use for the query result is the actual XP. So if you have a look on the sidebar, you'll see that I have 1020 XP. When I splash myself with a couple of bottles of enchanting, you'll see that that will go up as I am splashing away. Okay, so that's the other one I have. And then the one I mentioned in the last video is the actual game rule, which on the sidebar, you can see I've actually got a game rule running that is random to the world. Okay, so what I've done is, so you'll see on the sidebar, I've got like game time, daytime, border timer, Dragon's XP, etc., etc. These are all fake players. Now, the reason they're fake is so that I can actually display all of these results in the sidebar in real time. Okay, it's just so that you guys can see. And now to create these, to create a stat, you are going to need to create a stat command for each of these things that you want to track. Now, if you want to know how to do that, please go watch my stats video. It's a recent video. Please do go watch it. This will explain to you how to actually set up the actual stats so that you can use it. I'm not going to go through it again. You can also just go and watch the game rule 1 because I showed it over there. But just to show you that I've got over here, I just need to set the date, the fake player I create by going scoreboard player set, creating a fictional player name, no spaces, okay, no spaces, and then which objective I want it to have 0 for, and now when I hit that, it will then create that player and set that player's stats score to 0. And I've just got that for time, for border, for XP, and for random, etc. Okay, so I have a clock running over here. Okay, and all I'm doing is I am then just executing a command that tests or queries the daytime, as mentioned before. Now I've added some stats to this block. So when this command block successfully runs a command, what it's going to do is it's going to pull the query result that was run, and it's going to push it into the player called daytime. It's going to push it into that stats objective. Okay, and this is why you're seeing this on the sidebar going up like that, is because every time this clock runs at 20 times a second, so at every 20 times a second it queries datetime. If it successfully is able to query datetime, it will then put that score into the datetime player's stats objective. Okay, does that make sense? All right, and I did that by injecting the stats block command. And then it's exactly the same for all the others. The game time, I'm just querying game time. The border, I'm just getting the border. The XP, I'm just giving the players, all players 0 XP. So it'll then just list the XP. The random, I'm just getting the random game rule. And then query, I'm just getting the query over there. Now, just to show you the border, if I set the border, you can see the world border set 60,000 in 0 seconds. So if I set the world border, you will see that the world border now is static because I haven't told it to shrink. If I now tell the world border to set the world border to 50 blocks from this spot, but I'm going to do it in 60,000 ticks. Okay, you'll see that then that will kind of start a countdown. So by the time that reaches 50, the world border will be 50. Okay, and this is the stats, the game rule random that is making this villager walk a random path whenever it gets to an intersection. This is pretty cool stuff. I mean, this is random. Okay, guys, I will thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will check you all later.